the world is limitless. Technology ceaseless. And when people work together, the opportunities boundless. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Minutes Network is transforming communications, decentralizing, distributing, sharing, integrating telecoms, mobile apps, and the blockchain. Changing today's possibilities into tomorrow's realities. A new communications ecosystem run by you. Minutes Network. The future of telecommunications today.
What's up, Ada Gang? Welcome into Adapt Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here for Reed. As a part of today's usual World Mobile live stream here, we're going to be talking about a project that is very near and dear to our hearts here within the World Mobile community, and that's none other than Minutes Network. Now, I'm going to be joined by my two co-hosts, which I will introduce here in just a moment, but we've got a couple of key members here from the Minutes team to give us a deep dive and just a better overall understanding of exactly what they're bringing to the DePIN and telecoms space. So as we get started, again, thank you all for taking the time to tune in here on this wonderful Saturday. I hope you guys are all doing well. As you're making your way in here, feel free to smash that thumbs up. It's by far one of the easiest ways to support me as a content creator. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, consider subscribing for more content just like this. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to voice off down below. If you're watching this live, that comment section is active right now. Feel free to go ahead and drop your comments. We'll make sure to address those as we've got the entire team here, or the majority of the Minutes team here, to dive into exactly what they're bringing. Now, before we go any further, I have to bring up my two good friends here and co-hosts and fellow ambassadors for the World Mobile community. We've got none other than Rob, aka Trek Pool, and then we've also got Cal, aka Clover Nose. Gentlemen, welcome up. How are you?
Doing good. Excited to be here today.
Thank you for making the time, Rob. Go ahead.
Super excited to be here. We've been waiting to get Minutes Network on our show for a very long time, so I'm very excited for this one.
And I think it's important to note, people are, hey, this is the World Mobile Alliance. How does this fit in? And when you realize what Minutes Network is and how tied into World Mobile all of this is, we have World Mobile the company, but we have World Mobile the blockchain. And the World Mobile chain is going to house several companies that are going to work together to help further the network traffic and everything going on in World Mobile. Minutes Network is founded by Josh Watkins, which is Mickey's brother. Mickey and Josh co-founded World Mobile together, and then Josh said, I have this idea that's brewing, and we're able to take this, make this work, and bring it all back with World Mobile to make it even more powerful and more dynamic. And so what the alliance has, once World Mobile chain was announced, the partners were announced, what we all decided was that we were going to do as the alliance, basically the World Mobile chain, everything growing on World Mobile's blockchain, we want to push. And it's absolutely, it makes perfect sense that Minutes Network, which came from this whole thing, right, with Mickey and Josh, that they're the first company to build on the World Mobile chain. And like I said, we've been talking to these guys for a long time. We've gotten to know them very, very well, and it's really, really exciting to have them here today.
Rob, I appreciate you taking a piece of my job there, setting down the foundation. This is going to be an easy show for me. Again, appreciate the both of you guys here. If you guys are not already following Rob and Cal, please make sure to go ahead and do so. Links to both of their Twitter and X accounts are down below. And if you just want to just be a part of the community, make sure to also follow the official World Mobile Alliance Twitter, which is also left down there as a part of that video description. So without any further ado, unless you got something that you wanted to add there, Cal, I will bring up today's guest. So I do want to give you the opportunity to chime in if there's anything that you may want to add before we bring them up.
No, bring them up, please.
All right. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and bring up the official Minutes team. So we've got Gary Karp. And if you guys aren't aware, Gary is their deputy CEO. We've got Josh Watkins, the CEO, and we've also got Jamie King, their CMO. Gentlemen, I'm bringing you up now. Welcome up on stage. How are you all doing?
Hi, guys. Thank you very much for having us all today. It's great to be here. I'm Gary, and don't usually get let out into the public, so it's quite nice.
Thank you for making the time, Gary. Jamie or Josh, feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Jamie. I gather there's some Trekkies on this show, but I actually can't do my finger. I can't maneuver my fingers to do it, even if I was.
Don't
But
feel
I'm
bad.
here.
That
I'm
makes two of
excited to
us.
be here, and maybe we'll even slip in some bingo for those minute heads out there.
Yes. I actually saw a comment about that here. So this is
Uh-huh.
Arvi asking if we're playing
Yeah,
minutes bingo.
we are. The minute community is definitely playing bingo today. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Last but definitely not least, Josh, welcome up. How are you?
Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very well. Thank you very much. And I'm delighted to be here with you guys. Looking forward to the show ahead.
Likewise. Again, thanks to all the viewers here. Just a couple of quick shout outs. We've got Dad's Gone Crypto, fellow creators here. Wanted to take the time to say thank you for tuning in here. We've got Jeff, aka Delta Earth Nodes, fellow Earth Node operator, very well known within the World Mobile community. We've got Aldo, Carlos, Coinfera from the Nuvola team. It's good to see you in, Will. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Pass a farewell over to oh my goodness, Raul and Syed. We've got Aaron Node. Let's see who else we've got here. We've got Wave Nodes. Good to see you here as well, joining us here on this wonderful Saturday. All right.
We also have Devrin from the Rare Evo team.
I literally just saw his comment. Devrin, we got to get you up on one of these shows here. For anybody who isn't aware, Devrin's a part of the Rare Evo team, by far one of the biggest multi-chain events here. I attended last year right alongside Cal and Rob. Mickey Watkins was there. Some of the biggest projects from the Cardano ecosystem and outside of Cardano there in representation. It'd be good to get you on the show here to talk a little bit more about what you guys have to offer. And of course, remind the community of the fact that it's coming up. I want to say it's the first week of August this particular year. We've got Eric here as well, of course. Again, as we get the conversation going here, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to go ahead and just engage and ask any questions you may have there as a part of that chat feature. So I'm going to turn it over to my co-host here. We've got, again, Rob and Cal. Rob, I think I'll give you the honorary duties to sort of kick us off here with the agenda. So again, the floor is yours as you now begin to sort of shift the focus back over to the Minutes team.
Well, thanks. And again, it's such a treat to have these guys here. Just been following Minutes basically since inception, since the announcement. I remember when they announced that Josh was leaving World Mobile to start his own company, and there was, just the constant FUD and community freak out about things, and this is rugging and all this, and it's just, so following from that very announcement and watching it grow and finding ways to participate and be involved, it's been awesome. And then you see what's going on, and you watch the community building within Minutes Network. And it's what's cool is we know some of them because a lot of people that follow World Mobile have jumped right over into Minutes Network. And then there's some new faces that we're not familiar with that are definitely stepping up and taking ownership of the community and watching what's happening. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of drive for this, because if you look at it, if you follow along, it's a no-brainer. And that's what we hope to point out today. We talked with in advance of this show, we talked about a couple of things. We want to kind of hit on a couple of different areas. We want to just kind of learn about Minutes. What is Minutes? How does it work? And then the different aspects of it. And then we're going to find out where are we at, what's happening, and what's coming. So there's a lot of different things that we can touch on. And as always, Freed, we kind of plan things out. They always goes in directions other than we planned. And we always have audience participation as well, all the questions in the chat. So I think what's so nice is, you guys get on here and you hear me ramble about things, and, you give me nicknames, whatever, for talking too much. When I talk with Josh, it's hard for me to get words in because Josh is so engaged in everything, and he just goes and goes. And so it's, if there's questions, if anything, I know that things are going to get answered today because these guys are just so open and sharing about things. So, Josh, maybe we start with you, and we just kind of, I touched on a little bit just when you left World Mobile for Minutes, and if you just want to maybe start with, where did Minutes come from, the idea, and then the reason for leaving World Mobile to start this? How did this get going?
Right, Rob, very important question. Thank you very much for asking it. So this idea has been in development for a very long time. It's not something that's new. And today, this idea is no longer an idea. It's the beginning of a true revolution, not just for telecommunications, not just for the people in the world or the carriers, but also for applications and the space of application monetization. So this is an idea that was brought across the table over time, and we studied the idea, we understood the idea, we saw what was missing out there. And then it just kept coming back up, we have World Mobile heavily focused on the data side, and we have Minutes Network heavily focused on the minutes and voice side of the telecommunications industry. So as one, we actually cater for the entire industry. And obviously we have many value-added services as well that are still being released and sort of publicly surfaced. So yeah, I mean, this is a concept that we've been working with for a very long time.
So what does Minutes actually do? Like, what need does it fill? How is it useful and tangible?
Right. So I think, Gary, if you'd like to take this one.
Yeah, let me pick that up. Thank you, Josh. And what we are is a decentralized wholesale telecoms operation. And it's the decentralization which is the massive change for us. So even if you look at our website and you see that we were focused originally on the international termination, even that, as Josh has alluded to, is now expanding into value-added services, bringing us in towards SMS and a range of other activities. So the most important is we're taking an industry apart that historically has become very controlled by a small number of organizations, and we're just going to reconfigure it, and that's really quite cool. And one of our big claims to fame, I think, as we move forward, is we're becoming and set to become the world's largest telco operation by user base. And to do that from a standing start, now that's just quite a mind blow, actually, when you realize what we're doing and how we're doing it. And as we're returning value to the community, our sharing economy, again, it just makes us a very different sort of business.
Absolutely. And the engineering in play here allows us to sort of reconfigure an entire industry. Now, the industry of GSM communications is pretty stagnant. It's been stagnant for a very, very long time now. There's not much innovation in the space. There's not much going on. And one of the reasons for that is because carriers are already making a tremendous amount of profit and a tremendous amount of revenue. Perhaps they don't need to innovate and continuously sort of evolve. Having spoken to some of the representatives at the ITU at Minutes Network, and having spoken to various counterpart sort of organizations, they welcome us with a breath of fresh air. Okay, we are what's called, in their words, a breath of fresh air for the industry. We're doing things different, we're building differently, and we are very new for the space, and it's very exciting.
It's great. They top down control, black box. We're like bottom up, everyone involved, open, transparent, whole new way of doing things.
I'm going to jump in, and I'm starting to see how Minutes fits into the telecom world. Great explanation there, Jamie. But there is a whole other layer with crypto that got my attention when I learned about Minutes Network. So I guess let's pivot there for a second. Can you explain to me how does crypto play in Minutes Network?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Clover Notes. So it's very important for us. The sharing economy is the backbone of the network. We're able to incentivize and reward folk for running the decentralized infrastructure that's at the heart of the network. And it's not just used for the Minutes Network SDK, now known as Jingle. It's also used in various other of our VAS products, our value-added service products, including Unity. Without the crypto side of things, we would be almost the same as a regular carrier. What we have planned with Unity, what we have planned for the sharing economy, just could not be possible without the Web3 side. As a consequence of, or sort of a byproduct of the technology we've built, we will also become the largest project in the Web3 space by users very quickly. We don't onboard users one by one. We don't advertise to onboard users, and we don't need to sort of encourage users to join our network because of a better price. What we do is very different. We have rapid scaling technology. It's proprietary to us. We built this technology, and it allows us to onboard millions or tens of millions or billions of users in one integration, and that's per integration. Okay, so in a typically saturated market where there's not a lot of space for new small folk to come in, we are lowering the barrier for those who have staked for nodes to actually enter the space of the voice communication industry itself. We are changing the way that telecommunications companies are built, and we are also innovating and further evolving a sort of 30-year stagnant industry. And it's very welcomed by the carriers, by the organizations in the space. It's extremely welcomed with open arms.
And can I just build off that? I mean, when we were deciding how to execute the project, there are choices to be made at all times by businesses, and we didn't have to go the sharing economy route, but we're coming out of the World Mobile Stable, and it's very important, therefore, that whatever we did was strategically aligned to where that project is going. So we had to. It was therefore, an obvious and imperative choice that we said, how do we do this in a way that is symbiotic and cohesive to the overall vision of where World Mobile is set out from? So once we have that as a paradigm to work with, then clearly, okay, this is going to be set in a sharing economy, and therefore we have to bring the crypto element to play to underpin everything.
Right, and I think just before we move from that topic, there is one more very important factor. World Mobile have created a product that allows telcos around the world to reinvigorate their revenues and profitability. We do that by offering a cheaper price for them to connect their customers' calls. In no point does that reduce the cost for the end user. Okay, we're unable to control, obviously, the integrating or interconnecting telco partners' calling price for their users. So what we do is we're able to reward the callee and the caller with reward tokens. And that's how we give back to not only the stakers or the community or the carriers or the applications or ourselves, but that's how we reach the end user. And that's how we're going to drive Web3 mass adoption with this technology.
Well, and Josh, I think that's a really important thing to note, because what you're doing is you're stepping in, cutting out a lot of the middlemen in order to connect these calls. So, but you're the parent companies for the different telcos, they're able to save some money. So you're helping out there. You're helping out the users by rewarding the users, and you're helping out the people that are also assisting your company as well with the different rewards. And like you said, maybe you can't save the end user on the price because you can't control what the telcos charge, but you can find ways to mitigate that by either rewarding them or helping the telco, so maybe they want to lower their cost. And I think in the same way with World Mobile has a different model, different mentality, where they're able to allow ownership of the network, allow people to be rewarded, find ways for people who are using the network to get rewarded as well with cheaper prices and better coverage, and then the different types of benefits they get from being a subscriber, as well as, like we said, owning the actual infrastructure, owning the aeronodes. Another thing that you guys are doing, and then maybe this skips ahead a little bit, and I'm sure Cal wants to talk a lot about this too, but you talk about rewarding the end user who is participating in the Minutes network sharing economy, but we know that there's a project building that's a shared World Mobile and Minutes network called Unity. And maybe this is a good time to jump into what Unity is and how that works.
Yes, I'd love to. Unity is very special. It's a handheld cryptocurrency generating application, and it runs on your mobile phone. It's only released in a couple of countries right now under beta. It will be released worldwide. Well, not quite worldwide. There are a couple of exceptions. However, it'll be released as soon as it's ready. And when it is ready, we have a plethora of different options for each country that it's due to be released in. Some countries have more limitations over the features and the usage that compared to other countries. And it's something that's never been seen before. It allows you to generate substantial amounts of cryptocurrency as rewards without the need for expensive hardware, without the need for a huge electricity bill. I think it's the new way to sort of mine, dare I say. That's what it is. It allows you to generate substantial amounts of crypto rewards from partnering companies. In the near future, you'll see some of the partnerships that we have in hand on the Web3 side that have come forward and said, we would like our token or coin to be available for users to generate on Unity. Obviously, that provides them with a vast amount of transactional volume and utilization of their network. So it's very interesting for them. It's interesting for us because it diversifies the rewards that can come out of Unity. And of course, Minutes Network takes 1 cent on every minute, no matter the price that Unity generates. It's a cooperative release with World Mobile. There are also rewards set aside for World Mobile as well, and I think this will change things in the Web3 space. I think this will change what we call rewards, and I think this will change how much money, how much rewards are actually paid. People will look at this and say, well, hold on a minute, this has extreme use case, extreme value from the get-go. What are all these other companies doing? Where does their revenue come from? How is, right? Because there's a lot of empty promises in the space. And one of the things that Minutes Network is going to do is we're going to bring a new realm into the world of Web3, where real world generation of real world currencies is going to be sort of everything to us. Utilization of the chain, financial settlement on the chain, transparent accounting, and configuration done live on chain. I think it just has not been done before in the voice industry. So it's another thing to really consider with Unity is the amount of help that we can provide to carriers worldwide with this solution. It has several intended uses. Some of them revolve around data, some of them revolve around voice, some are revolving around SMS. I'm very excited to get it released, guys. It's going to be a big one for us.
And
That sounds...
I could just, I was going to say, Kyle, if I could just briefly just jump in there. Josh was just sort of talking about the rewards pool and the different sort of people that can contribute to the Minutes Network. And so I'm just sort of looking through some of your docs now, and just want to take the opportunity just to highlight who can actually benefit, right, from the Minutes Network and the Minutes ecosystem. And so I'm going to just pull something up here, but it mentions node holders, node stakers, the Minutes Network group, and then Minutes users. Just sort of wanting to expound a little bit if there's anything that you could add about, how these people are rewarded, how frequently, or sort of what's the plan behind rewarding some of these members. And then Cal, I'll let you pick right back up.
Definitely. So actually, everybody is rewarded per epoch. It's on an epoch basis, including the stakers, the node stakers, including the group, and including the users. So what's happening is rewards are being generated in the real world by the usage of telecommunications based companies. Their customers are making calls. They're being routed via Minutes Network. Analytics is being driven. There's a couple of features on Unity. I think Unity, there are some infographics headed out to the community soon that detail and explain how the different use cases for Unity today. However, that being said, the amount of rewards that we're going to be paying across the various destinations in the ecosystem, I just don't see another project except from World Mobile that's treating their users, their partners, their community, their company, and that includes applications and carriers and real people, the end users, in the same way that we are.
Thank you there, Josh. Again, Cal, I didn't mean to steal your thunder there. So I do want to turn it right back over to you for the next question.
Yeah, of course. So since we are on the topic of rewards, there is something that I know the entire World Mobile community is buzzing about, and it's an airdrop of MNTX tokens for World Mobile token holders. So first of all, what inspired you guys this decision to make this airdrop? And second of all, when can we expect this airdrop?
So this
I love the way-
is very important. Go ahead, please, Jamie.
No, I was just going to say I love the way there's the sound of an airplane in the background as he talks about airdrop. It was almost like perfect time.
Fantastic, very fitting. I don't want to say too much on the airdrop at this point. Obviously, we've released some material on it so far. There is an airdrop for World Mobile token holders, and we wanted to include everybody from the World Mobile community, whether they purchase tokens or not. That's the sort of meaning, behind the airdrop itself. What also happens is it gives people a head start with Unity. As it's released, people will already have tokens in their wallet, so they can, they're free to do whatever they'd like with those tokens. But I think Unity is going to be extremely interesting, especially for those that are interested in generating rewards.
And if I could jump in real quick, Josh, we had talked a bit about this airdrop previously. And one thing that we're trying to set up here for maybe this coming week is the Alliance is going to do a special pre-recorded video with the Minutes team to discuss all of the questions leading up to the airdrop, because we want to make sure that people are prepared, they're ready to go, their wallets are in order, they're able to track everything the right way. So we've discussed this already, but that's an exciting thing to look forward to. Is before the airdrop happens, we want to be able to share with both the World Mobile and the Minutes community what this is going to look like, so people are prepared. They're not panicking last minute, not asking those types of questions about what should I do, or I have some tokens here, some tokens are there. How does this work? What wallet do I need to use? We're gonna get all of that covered with the Minutes team, and so I think it's really, really a good thing that you're doing that by providing this airdrop for people. And I think the explanation is going to be as critical, because people, when tokens are involved, when finance is involved, people tend to panic. So we want to be sure that Minutes and the Alliance are helping calm that.
It's all just so exciting.
What
Yeah.
Josh hasn't told you is that actually a big part of this was the price for getting Josh off Minutes Network.
Off World Mobile, you mean, Gary? Yeah.
Exactly.
No. Well, I think if Jamie, if you'd like to, Rob, Farid, and Clover, if you guys would like to have us on an additional session in the near future before the airdrop, perhaps we could go into the realm of the airdrop in detailed form and explore any questions, any sort of unsureties or anything that's not clear. We can provide absolute clarity, and we could do that on a WM Alliance space just before the airdrop takes place.
Yeah, very happy to support and facilitate that. Obviously, it's in our interest to make sure that everyone has as much information as possible. It's just as exciting for us as I'm sure it is for the wider community.
Yeah, and thank you both for the opportunity, to be able to spread some of that information. As soon as you guys have that ready, feel free to share that with us. And as Rob mentioned, we'll get some pre-recorded content out there. Gentlemen, pick right back up.
Thanks, Farid. And if you guys could kindly ask the community, and we will too, for any questions relating to the airdrop, and we can bring them to a future show and make sure that they're all answered.
Will do. I think, Cal, do you have the next question there?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm very excited about this, actually. And so, Josh, you and Mickey are both pushing boundaries in the telecom with blockchain. So is this airdrop a hint at a bigger collab between Minutes and
definitely.
World Mobile?
We have a massive collaboration. Look, we don't just have Unity, which in my opinion is one of the biggest things in the space today. I guess we'll all see how big that is as it rolls out. We also have the voice exchange and data exchange that's currently under construction, due for Q2. Not only that, we have a large amount of what we call value-added services, and a lot of those are hand in hand with World Mobile. They are services that we can offer carriers today and generate revenue that essentially will be channeled via the node economy. And those services are not only revolving around voice, but also data. And I think it's really important to re-clarify. Minutes Network is heavily focused on SMS and voice, and World Mobile are heavily focused on the data side of the industry. So together, we cover the entire telecommunications space. I don't think there's an interesting service that we can't offer carriers. So we really are the future of telecommunications.
Now, I don't want to jump the gun. I'm seeing a lot of comments about the TGE. So Robert, Cal, if you guys maybe want to jump into that topic, I think that'd be a really good one to get answered here for the folks who tuned in.
For sure. And Josh, Jamie, Gary, I've told you guys this privately, but I like to say it in public too. I hate when questions. I think they're kind of the low IQ, low hanging fruit type of a question. So I'm not going to ask a when question. What I want to ask more is what it is and what this means. And so token generation event, TGE, it's on everybody's radar right now. We know that something's going to be happening. If you would just maybe give a an explanation of what the token generation event is, what it means, what it looks like, and also why it's important. Why does the token generation event matter?
Okay, so the token generation event is important because it's the transitional period between tokens being on the ledger and tokens being in purchasers' hands. Now, from the token team, we understand that the token generation event is around the corner. I understand that they are waiting patiently, however, pushing hard on the different exchanges that will be taking part in the listing. And the token generation event will be communicated prior to the announcement of the exchange listings that we're actually waiting on the exchanges for right now. There are a couple of dates in the air. We are pushing on those dates. As soon as we have a concrete date, it will be absolutely announced immediately, and we will create, as promised, an AMA before the token generation event takes place. You will be able to receive your wallets you'll be able to receive your tokens in the designated wallet that you made designated in your token portal. And if you have not connected a wallet, please go ahead and do so. I know that from Monday, there will be communications going out that ask you to connect a wallet if you haven't already. I know there's only a few users that still haven't connected a wallet, but we're waiting for those users to connect. That will not delay the process. There is a additional process for those who have not connected the wallet post TGE. And there's also recently on the token portal a change wallet button being added for those who have communicated that their wallet has been compromised or their wallet has had any type of issue with your wallet. There's a button to change wallets on the portal available right now. I also know that on Monday there will be a communication via email on that fact.
I mean, it's really exciting when you sort of talk about what it means, and like we go all this fantastic infrastructure, we go from private to like open markets, and now we're visible, we're tradable, we're scalable. And so in terms of what it means, it's a very exciting moment, I think, for all of us and obviously the wider community. I love a when question. I'm not going to answer it, but I love a when.
Right, and just to pick up on some feedback in the unofficial group here, I think a few weeks back, I'm not sure if the graphics and the infographics and documentation was communicated for 2 weeks. Unity is actually ready today. We're waiting on the final sign-off over the different countries and carriers and sort of different jurisdictions that it's available in. As soon as we have that sign-off, it will be immediately released. Software-wise, we're ready.
There we go. Sorry about that. I will go ahead and actually drop the link to the token portal for anybody who's interested in joining the Minutes community. If you haven't already, check out the link. It should be now up on the screen. If you're watching this live, it is available there within the live chat section. Cal, I believe you may have the next question here, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely, yeah. So everyone's very, very excited about the TG. We're all waiting for it. But you guys were recently on Digital Asset News, and you mentioned something that had me really, really interested. So I know you guys are gearing up to announce Jingle, which we hear is a monetization brand that will let minutes team up with apps to create new revenue streams. So do you guys mind giving us the first look at what exactly Jingle is?
Absolutely. Jamie, if you'd like to take this one from the marketing.
Yeah. I mean, it's our plugin that allows app owners to monetize their user base. It's an amazing opportunity to introduce a novel and new, monetization stream without disrupting your users in any way, and avoids UX and UI, interference and friction. And so we're really excited as we roll that out now with all the application owners that we're talking to. It's a fantastic product. It's very simple and as we would always say, easy to integrate. And I think we've got a lot of interested parties. Be very exciting to see Jingle plugin be connected and integrated into these apps, and to what we've always said, we'll then be onboarding a lot of users in a very rapid time space. And so yeah, very excited. So the Jingle plugin allows for a new monetization for any mobile application owner. So think you're a small dev in a small country, you're not making any money, well, you're going to start making money. It's phenomenal, very powerful. So we're very excited.
Sounds.
Guys. Good. Sorry, Clover. Go ahead.
I take it does sound very, very big. And just a follow-up question, like how can the community be involved? Like, will there be some sort of a referral program that community can onboard apps?
Definitely. We have a referral program built into the website that will be live very soon. As soon as it's live, we'll put an announcement out in the community, and we welcome the community to bring applications. We welcome the community to bring carriers. If you have any sort of applications that you're friendly with, or even that you think might benefit the network or be interested in what we're doing, there will be room, and we're always listening. We're always listening.
Yeah, definitely. If you know app owners, bring them our way. And for sure, sharing is caring. We'll always look after anyone who refers an app owner or application owner to us.
This is a sharing economy. This is
exactly. We are here for the people. We are about the people. So.
We have one really good app, which is going to be the World Mobile app, and I think
There
that
you
one's
go.
going to do excellent.
So the SDK will be built into the World Mobile app. We have some huge announcements to be made. There are a couple of announcements that are already signed for, just waiting to go out. There's some press release on Unity, press release on Jingle. There's quite a lot happening on this side. It is a very special moment, not just for the space of Web3, but also for the space of telecommunications. As the different carriers sort of onboard themselves and we get more and more household brands online, I think we have access to a lot of the international and some domestic traffic in the world right now. Perhaps we don't have 100% access to everything, but we have an awful lot, and the access is growing. The applications that we're working with, some of the names are going to blow the community away. They blew me away, right? And I'm all smiles. So I think, the best is yet to come still, and soon I won't be able to say that anymore. However, I think that as we grow towards the world's largest carrier by user base, it's going to be monumentous, right? We're in a very special position with extremely unique technology and a very great team to roll this out. We have hundreds of years of combined telecommunications experience, and I'm not just talking about the Minutes Network team. I'm also talking for the World Mobile team as well. I mean, there's so many great figures involved. Tomorrow we have a meeting in Geneva with a regulator We're looking along the lines of one value-added service product to stop revenue leaks in the country. We already have this product as part of the switch and validation node rollout. It's actually something that's very simple for us to do. And we have a product that creates revenues for government. So it's, yeah, I think over time, we'll see more and more utilization of the technology. We'll see more and more familiar app and carrier names onboarded. And yeah, buckle your seatbelts, because it's going to get pretty intense.
Or as we like to say, explosive growth imminently.
I do see that, and there's been some questions about bingo being played
Yeah,
imminently as
I
well.
think I think Josh dropped a suit in there as well.
All right, now before we get to minutes bingo, because I would love for you guys to explain that and for us to be able to chime in there, I do want to take just an opportunity to just sort of reset the room here. So for anybody who's just tuning in here for the first time, we're breaking everything down, discussing the minutes network, the DePIN economy, and exactly what they're going to be bringing with their teleco service. And so again, if you guys do appreciate this type of content, it does take a lot of planning and obviously a lot of time from some of these key members from the Minutes team. Please smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, feel free to join the conversation there as we are currently live. I do also want to take the opportunity to also highlight the Rare Evo event. So if you guys aren't aware, Rare Evo is by far one of the biggest events here, not just within the Cardano ecosystem, but it's now a multi-chain event. And so as a part of that, if you guys are not aware, and if you are planning to attend the upcoming Rare Evo event, please, please, please make sure to go ahead and use the following code, which is WMTX. You'll be receiving a 10% off discount. Again, this is off of the tickets for Rare Evo, which should be taking place in Las Vegas, the same exact location as last year, between August 6th through the 10th. Make sure to use code WMTX in order to receive that 10% discount. I'm also going to go ahead and leave the link to that as a part of the comment section there for anybody who might be watching live and who has the ability to copy and paste that there directly within their browser. In closing, if you guys appreciate and want more of this type of content, please, please, please make sure to go ahead and follow the World Mobile Alliance. Links to their official X account left down below. Shout out to Rob and Cal here for taking the time to not just prep the agenda, right, but also help to execute this actual interview here live with you guys all here from the community. All right, back to our regularly scheduled show.
Well, I want to tie into something you just said there, because I think it's important. We've had discussions with Jamie and with Gary and with Josh about minutes being at Rare Evo this year, and they've been talking with the Rare guys as well. But we are planning, and the Alliance wants to take everything World Mobile Chain and bring it together, and this is going to be a great spot. So they've already told us, and they can tell us here again, but that they're going to have a presence at Rare Evo. But the goal is get as much of a presence as possible, get everybody there. The Alliance has volunteered to help operate their booth for them, so they're freed up to meet the people and interact more, and not be so tied to a desk destination. But last year the Alliance, we put on so many things. We had meetings for Earth Node operators with Mickey and the team. We had an ambassador meeting. We did events where we were able to meet up before the event started. In fact, Thursday night, the day before the event, we were the only thing happening. Thursday night, we were the first thing happening, where everyone came. We had well over 100 people just show up just to come and hang out with us at a location at Caesars. We went and saw Penn and Teller as the World Mobile Community last year at the end of the event. So trying to find ways to do things, and just a little plug onto how these events work. There's a huge community that's going to show up for this, and if you don't know anybody, you've only been online, you've only seen people online, that doesn't matter, because when you get there, we're all going to be wearing our gear, our World Mobile stuff. I'm hoping to get some Minutes Network stuff made up as well, you guys, just so you know. We're going to be wearing the gear, the Alliance stuff, the World Mobile Chain stuff, everything that's tied in to our community. And you're going to run into people right away. And you're going to see people that you recognize. You're going to immediately know somebody. If nothing else, you're going to see my face, whether I'm the guy you want to hang out with. But we're going to be there, and you're not going to be alone. If you go to one of these conventions, the only time you're going to be alone is if you choose to walk away, choose to go back to your room to take a nap, because there's going to be so many things that we're planning going on with World Mobile, with the Minutes team, and the community. So it's going to be a great opportunity just to connect in person. And you're starting to see these connections turn into businesses, turn into major opportunities for people coming together, getting to know each other, trusting each other, and then wanting to branch out and do things together. So this is more than just a social happy hour. This is things that can change lives. It's going to change the direction of what you're doing with the World Mobile chain, with Minutes, with World Mobile. So a lot of opportunity there. And like I said, the guys have told me that they're looking at going and doing some stuff. And I think, if you wanted to comment at all, this might be the first time we get to see you in public.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, I wasn't available I didn't attend last year, but I'm excited to attend and meet the wider DePIN Cardano community and everyone that's been involved before I've joined Minutes Network. So sounds like it's a lot of fun.
I hope to be there with you all as well.
Yes, we'll be there in force.
We will be there indeed.
What goes in Vegas stays in Vegas, I believe.
That's
For
right.
sure.
I would love to definitely take the opportunity to hopefully get some content and some interviews with you all. I had the pleasure of being able to speak. I think it was with James Tagg, Mickey Watkins, of course, and a couple of others. Huge shout out to Rob for making that happen there. Okay. I do want to just take the opportunity, and I don't want to throw anybody here on the hot seat, but there's been a couple of viewers, and actually, let me just back up a little bit. We've had a record number breaking show here. We've got over 300 viewers right now currently on X and nearly 200 tuned in on YouTube. Seems like there's a lot of hype and a lot of demand for more Minutes content. Would love to get you guys back on here for a little bit of this in the future. So just having that said, a couple of people have tuned in here a little bit late. They heard about TGE, but they didn't necessarily get all the details that we discussed earlier. So I know there's a lot of things that can't necessarily be shared yet, and I don't want to ask when, but can anybody here from the Minutes team please just briefly rehash what we currently know and what can publicly be shared about the TGE?
Yeah, I mean, I'll add, and Josh coming after me for things I miss. We have now the smart contract was audited and approved, so that's all in good shape now. We're in discussion with numerous chains as to how we roll out. So it really it's just a matter of timing right now on putting the pieces together and choosing the moment, and that's in the hands of the token team.
Perfect.
Right,
Thank
Jared.
you.
So that's correct. And the moment that we're looking for is the TGE to be aligned with the token launch on the exchanges. Okay, so what's happening in the background is we're discussing with exchanges. I've overheard many a conversation. And as soon as we're provided with a listing date, the TGE will be sort of on or around that date, and that will be communicated immediately. There are a couple of exchanges who have promised to deliver dates by Monday. I'm really looking forward to Monday. I understand it's a question that's due to be answered for the community. We absolutely don't want to give any wrong dates, or everything that we say has to be factual. And because of that, we're very careful about announcing the suggested dates that we have in hand until we have a contract signed for them. The exchanges are very friendly, from what I can tell, very eager to proceed. There are some huge marketing campaigns aligned right now. I'll have to stop Jamie from talking too much about those, because they come coupled with the listing and the TGE as well. We have great materials lined up. There's, as I said previously, there's an enormous amount of educative and sort of resource materials around Unity, around application monetization, Jingle, around the carriers that we've already onboarded and are onboarding. There's also some information due to go out on the revenue turbine and the reward distribution structure, etc. This is just to sort of further drill down on what's already been made available, but the TGE is absolutely around the corner. We are on the edge of our seats as you are, and that date will be communicated in the extremely near future.
Thank you there, Josh. And I am a big believer in measuring twice and cutting once, especially in a space like crypto that's very, very unforgiving. And so I can definitely understand as to why you guys are taking the time to disseminate that information very, very slowly, making sure to double check things before actually releasing anything there. Again, don't want to take away from the show because, again, we've got very limited time here. But Rob, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be swinging to the next topic.
Yeah, well, we're wondering, we've talked about things, the massive explosive growth with scaling. And I'm wondering if you could touch on a little bit, what does scaling look like as far as, do you have to have agreements in certain countries? Is it based on country? Is it based on telecom providers? Is it based on the applications that you can get your SDK plugged into? What does that look like?
So no, it's not based per country. It's based on the applications that we're plugged into. And one application might have 25, 50 countries that it's running in. Some applications are more dedicated to particular countries, local applications. We are very, very interested in our Nigeria rollout. We have a lot going on the ground in Nigeria right now. Several different government departments are currently integrating the technologies. Some of them are doing their own due diligence. Some of them are in the last stages of integration. I won't mention any names today, but in the next, in the next time ahead, you will see a few announcements come out from very senior positions in Nigeria to discuss Minutes Network, the technology, and how it's helping not just the carriers and the applications, but also the people on the ground out there. We've been looking at the likes of M-Pesa from South Africa. We've had a chat with some big South African applications. We already have, a substantial amount of South African traffic on board. Jamaica is another interesting region, 3 million Android users, 150,000 application users in Jamaica, and we have access to 5% of the country. So in terms of mobile users. So it's a very quick thing that happens immediately, and there is no space between it happening and the results being shown on the Explorer. So keep your eyes on the Explorer, keep your eyes on what's ahead. It is an extremely interesting period for us at Minutes Network. It's probably one of the most interesting periods in the GSM industry right now. A lot of evolution is taking place. Obviously, WhatsApp was released. People took a huge, there's massive adoption over at WhatsApp, right? It's huge. We are WhatsApp, but only on one side, right? We run voice over IP solutions on the application side, and on the origination side, we work directly with interconnected carriers. So we believe we are the next biggest thing in the space of GSM. And what's about to come is game-changing, life-changing, industry-changing, and a lot more.
But if I can just add to give to dimension, when we talk about scaling, it is these two things. We've got interconnections with over 400 carriers worldwide, and that's continuously being outweighted. So we have the source traffic, and it's bringing the traffic to the users via the application. So scaling really is about marrying the two halves of our world together into the single solution.
Thank you.
And Farid, just to add there one more thing, we are intending to announce an additional scaling communication session. If you do have questions on scaling, please, write them in the community. They will be answered in that next session. There's also the release of 2 AMAs, a token AMA and a Minutes Network AMA. They will be released today. So if you just mark those in your calendars, there's some very, very nice content to be released on those AMAs and up ahead.
And for anybody that isn't aware, I do want to take the opportunity just to briefly actually share something that I find very interesting. So whenever we're doing sort of the world mobile coverage, we typically jump into the Explorer and sort of highlight where are nodes deployed, how much data in terms of terabytes is being consumed. But for anybody who isn't aware, not world mobile, oh my goodness, the Minutes Network also has their own Explorer. And so I'm going to go ahead and just drop the link to that there as a part of the live stream chat here. But ladies and gentlemen, take the opportunity to check this out. If you have any questions, about exactly what is going on, how much activity is currently being processed by this particular network or service. I mean, take a look here. You've got call history, you've got the different locations, how many calls were terminated, etc. And so again, we just want to take the opportunity to let people know that this is not just us talking. There's numbers and there's data that you guys can take the opportunity to review on your own. Again, I've just left the link to the Explorer down below. I think, Rob, is it back over to you?
Well, I was just kind of curious about the scaling and about how things work. You talked about you charge 1 cent per minute used on these calls, on these connections. And
well, no, that's for Unity, Rob. So
I'm sorry.
What happens is when Unity generates revenue, 1 cent per minute is always brought back to the Minutes Network token reward pool, and that's how we ensure that the Minutes Network token is in line with the release of Unity. For the traditional carrier network, we charge whichever price we feel comfortable with because it's our route to the destination. And unlike any other carrier in the world, we're not bound by market minimums. We're not bound by floor prices. We set our own price. And that's not 1 cent per minute. Some countries are 70 cents, $1 a minute. Some countries are 1/10 of a cent per minute. It really depends on the country and where we are terminating.
And then is it just a simple mathematical formula? 1,000 minutes from this country, that equals X amount of dollars per, that comes in per day or per hour. Is it just that straightforward of an exchange, or is there
on the Minutes Network side? Yes, it is indeed. We charge the carriers the price per minute. Actually, it's billed per second, and for every second of usage. In the industry, it's commonly known as minutes trading. Okay. So that's why we call it minutes. That's the term used in the industry, and it's charged per second, and we bill per second. And as the revenue comes in, it's displayed on the Explorer, and as the calls come in, they are displayed on the Explorer. We can expect, with the current integrations in hand, we're very excited for what's happening at SEW right now. Yesterday, some of our partners met with the SEW team in the US. And it's going to be seriously explosive growth.
Yeah, so we discussed TGE, we discussed scaling, we discussed various plans like Unity, Jingle, obviously the airdrop, the MNTX airdrop for World Mobile token holders, and I'm sure there's a lot more coming up that we simply don't have the time to cover here. So lots cooking. But yeah, I want to find out what's coming ahead. Let's talk future plans here. Where are we going? What's the future roadmap look like for Minutes Network?
So I think that, and I'll leave marketing to Jamie on this one, but I think that as we onboard additional carriers, as we onboard additional applications, as we pass certain milestones, 1 million live users, 10 million live users, etc. I think that it's just the explosive growth, the explosive nature of the industry allows us to position ourselves and scale with our rapid scaling technologies quicker than any other carrier in the space. And because we're scaling in terms of users, we'll also be scaling with WM chain quicker than any other chain in the Web3 space. And I think that's extremely important to sort of understand and comprehend. If you haven't looked at the rapid scaling technologies at Minutes Network, it's one of the most, or if not the most important component of Mintech's technology suite. And that's what we'll be using to give us the upper hand on the onboarding of these users into our network.
It's what we like to call world domination.
Absolutely. And it is world domination. If you look at the amount of users we currently have in hand, and if you look at the amount of users that we're sort of going to have in hand, we have another call with Unity 3D, I think, on the 27th. Okay, so I think, Unity 3D are absolutely massive alone. SEW are absolutely massive alone. There's some names that are just shockingly big that we're talking to right now. And we will be releasing those names in the coming time. They will be released with pleasure. And as we grow the network, I can only imagine that the reaction from the community and people outside of the community across the space of Web3 is going to be outstanding. I think that we haven't seen a product bring a node economy, the creation of a node economy and sharing economy like the one being rolled out at Minutes Network and Minutes Network Token now.
Yeah. We're going to show them that telecoms can be built right from the ground up, and that value can be shared amongst everyone that's participated in powering it, right? And as opposed to just being kept at the top. It's very exciting.
I think it's truly different from anything else that's out there today, not just in telecoms, but also in the Web3 space and also in the monetization space. And the industry of application monetization is phenomenally huge. Okay, I think it's in the trillions of dollars. I don't have an exact figure with me today. If we had Henri on the call, I'm sure he could enlighten us on that. Perhaps next time we can bring Henri up as well, guys.
I would like to just briefly jump in here if I could. Thank you. I appreciate that. I think we're done with the airdrops now. Jokes aside, there's been a question, and just I want to make sure that we are able to clarify these as things are happening. And so earlier, Josh, you'd mentioned multiple chains or potentially multiple centralized exchanges about the token and support. Maybe just sort of backing up a little bit, right? For anybody who isn't aware in terms of like where the Minutes infrastructure lies, do you guys plan on, operating or having infrastructure on Cardano, EVMs? I'd love to just hear a little bit more about exactly where your current crypto infrastructure lies. And again, sort of the information about centralized exchanges. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, of course, Farid. So it's very important that we understand that the exchanges are part of the listing process and part of the secondary market process, and the chains, the chain that Minutes Network Token will launch on, and the chains that Unity will work with to generate rewards on, they're two very different things. We definitely will be on Cardano. We definitely will be on Base. We will be on Ethereum. And there are a couple of other chains that we're sort of looking at and talking to. We prefer to, especially with Unity, we prefer to work with chains that appreciate the adoption that's going to take place, that appreciate the real world transactional volume and utilization of their chain. And we're trying to work with chains that are communicative, appreciate what we're doing, and have a deep understanding of what's going on and the movement at Minutes Network and at World Mobile. So I hope that answers the question, Farid.
That does. Thank you. And I believe Cal, you were supposed to go next. So thank you for, again, letting me jump in there very briefly.
Yeah. So Josh, sounds like a big ride here. I mean, the past, the future, the present, all of it. Let's zoom out for some picture stuff. You've obviously built something super incredible here, and I want to ask each one of you guys, Josh, Jamie, Gary, what's your proudest accomplishment so far with Minutes?
Well,
and
for
maybe
me,
we'll start with Josh.
Yeah, for me, it's the reaction from the carriers, the reaction from the applications. It's the when we saw the rapid onboarding library functioning, that was, that gave me goosebumps, right? That was the moment that I realized that a user no longer needs to sign up to become a user. We have passive onboarding of millions and billions of users all at once. We don't need to go out there. We don't need the incredibly large marketing budgets and loss leaders that potentially other companies in this space might be sort of needing and requiring to grow. There is a lot of saturation in the space of telecommunications, and if you try to enter the field in the wrong way, you'll be sort of overshadowed by the giants out there. Now, as I said, the fact that users don't need to sign up, but they still exist on the network, and they're onboarded into not just Minutes Network's telephony network, but also they're onboarded into the whole Web3 ecosystem without even, without it affecting them, or it's a passive, onboarding operation. I think that is so far the proudest moment for me. That and the responses from the carriers and applications combined. Obviously, the immense growth of the community, the fantastic people we have in the community, the way that they sort of receive the information and perceive the information and digest it and then ask further questions. I think it's just wonderful. I think it's an incredible design, and I'm very, very happy where we are. So I'll hand over to Jamie and Gary on this.
Thank you. I mean, I'm relatively new, right? So I would say my proudest accomplishment is that I joined, that I became part of Minutes Network and I was allowed into the family. I mean, it's incredible, right? What they built. They've got a fully functioning network. It's up and running, right? It's terminating phone calls. We have users. It's incredible. So I would like to imagine that I'm going to have a lot of proud moments to come where I can say personally, because I don't want to take other people's glory, like all the work that Josh and Gary and the wider team have done. But, so I think joining the company right now.
Okay, for me, I'm going to say that the proudest moment I felt is when the token team finished closing the sale, the public sale. I mean, it's one thing to believe your own greatness and get excited with that, but it's quite something else when other people back it and do so enthusiastically. And so that comes with a huge sense of pride and a huge sense of responsibility to deliver back on the expectations that have been set. So it's a moment. It's a very short momentary pleasure and pride. There's oh shit, now it's real. But it is. It's a great vote of confidence for us all, and it inspires us every day to push further.
Well said.
Well, and with that, being excited about what you've done and looking forward, I'm wondering when are you able to say this is a success? What does success look like for Minutes Network?
I'd say it's already a success based on the reaction from the carriers and the applications. I would say that success will grow, and it will become an even bigger success as we onboard more users, as more telephone calls are terminated over the network, and as the sort of community realize what's happening under their feet and what we're truly, doing to the world of telecommunications, especially the voice side. I think lots to come, Rob. And I truly believe that we are the next leg and next generation of voice communications.
Yeah. It's going to be great to see people around the world, right? Earning, getting value just from staying connected, right? And to see app developers able to monetize without impacting the experience, of for the users.
We often see comments on games and mainly games. We see a lot of comments on the Play Store on the games that we click on in the review section. People do complain about adverts. We have one company, one of the largest gaming companies in the UK, that we're talking to on a very, very significant level now. They are extremely interested in how we monetize games, applications, and they are going to take part. Very soon, we'll be announcing a joint venture with that company as soon as it's inked and reviewed by both legal teams. So for what's ahead, as I said previously in this space, I don't think that any other Web3 outfit or any other Web2 or Web1 outfit has done anything close to what we're doing today. I don't necessarily think that we could have done this 5 years ago. I think that the technology, the internet speeds around the world have sort of allowed this to happen now. Now is the time. And as more and more big names come on board, and as we all witness them coming on board, I hope to one day see Google on board. Right? That's my own target. Okay. Now I don't see why Google could not adopt our technologies. I don't see any reason at all. Have we spoken to Google? Yes, we have, but we're not quite at the signing part of the talks just yet. But I'm intending to bring Google on board, guys. Let's see how far we get with that. If Google come on board, when Google come on board, I think then we've absolutely made it, right? Before that, I think we can easily close 30-40% of the population without them. But it would be very interesting to have, the likes of Samsung, who we already are talking to via team members today, Huawei, and other sort of phone manufacturers. They also bring us a large percentage of the population passively. So yeah, stay tuned, and the ride is immense.
Thank you there. And I'm not sure if you've opened up a can of worms or just dropped some alpha there for us, mentioning Google there by name. I think, as you probably know, the next question is going to be when Google.
When
and so
Google, right.
thank you for sharing.
Soon. As I said, it's not quite signed yet, but we hope to announce one day very soon that we have Google on board.
I think the team from World Mobile, and maybe they were actually playing the game when you were there, but I know they had a game where anytime Mickey would say soon, he would, I don't remember exactly how the game went, but anyway, I just want to be very.
We're all gamers at heart. We're all gamers at heart, and we all love games. That's for sure.
Yes.
No, I think it's about the word soon. I think there are other words that you can use, but I think it's a very important word, right? I think it's incredibly important. And if the word soon wasn't mentioned, people might say, oh, well, it must be in the very distant future, right? So I think soon is very important.
Thank you for clarifying that. And Jamie, while you are speaking about games, I did see a couple of questions about, Rockstar and onboarding, people from that ecosystem. So I'm not sure if right now is the right time or the right place, but would definitely love to have you back to speak about your prior experience and exactly how that could sort of be parallel channeled into what you're doing now. So if you want to talk a little bit about that, I think that's sort of a key thing that people know you for is Rockstar and what you guys have done there. If you want to jump into that, the floor is yours at this point. Otherwise, I did want to steer the conversation as we are getting ready to wind things down.
We can talk about the conversation at a later date. For sure. I mean, I'm very happy to be very open about it.
Sounds like cheap therapy to me.
Yeah. Very happy to talk about Rockstar anytime.
No, I definitely think there's a part two in demand here. Again, one of the best performing shows that we've had here from the World Mobile Alliance's perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are just tuning in here, please smash that thumbs up, doing a deep dive here into Minutes Network. This is just one of the many projects that'll be contributing to the World Mobile ecosystem, the World Mobile chain. And we here at the Alliance are doing our best to hopefully give you guys, some information to be able to give the projects some exposure. Again, really trying to be that middleman, that glue as the Alliance to connect the World Mobile community to all the builders that will be surrounding that particular ecosystem as the World Mobile chain gets ready to roll out. Now we are getting close here towards final comments. So for all of the guests here, if you guys have any sort of last key takeaways or just important pieces of information that we may not have covered, please get those ready as we'll sort of go around here in a circle. But I do want to give Rob and Cal the opportunity to ask any final burning questions that they may have before we get to final and closing thoughts. So Rob or Cal, if you guys have any final questions, now would be the time. If not, we'll jump into closing thoughts. Yep.
Just one question I'm kind of curious about, and this may have come out on different spaces you guys have hosted, but I'm just kind of curious, Josh, how did you assemble this team around you? We have Gary and Jamie here, obviously, but then people like Omri and others that we've met, Matthew. Just how did you put your team together, and how did you guys decide this is a shared vision we can all have, we can all grow this company with?
So I've been working with Gary for a very, very long time. Gary's a partner of ours. He's, we consider Gary one of us, absolutely. And the same for Jamie, and the same for Omri. Omri, I know for maybe 20 years plus. We've done a lot together. He's an incredible guy. He has an incredible history, an incredible background. He's a very, very serious person. And as are all of the team members, we have a different backstory for each team member. Obviously, we've got Tarwinder on the screen here. He's our general counsel. He's also a surgeon. He's a brain and a head surgeon specialist, or I think he's a neck surgeon specialist. Is that correct, Gary?
He's a child head and neck cancer specialist, and we met at law school together.
Right, and he's been, you know, operating before I was born. So these people, we have a team of extremely dedicated individuals, extremely serious individuals. Roe here, you know, I think he spent maybe 15 years, 20 years at the Prime Minister's office. We have Jason Zhang, very good Chinese partner of ours. He's an incredibly connected person in the realm of telecommunications. We hope to see China Mobile, Unicom being onboarded in the near future as well. You know, Matthew Walsh is, I know Matthew for, I think, 35 years now, my whole life. The guy is an absolute legend, totally dedicated, absolutely, you know, our team is formidable. You can't pick up a team like the team we have today just randomly, okay? We have an intricate understanding of who's who. And they have an intricate understanding of us as well, right, on this side. So, yeah, it's a very good team, very important team. I think there's a couple of, maybe one more member that isn't listed here. So we'll have a look at that as well. But yeah, Prince, James, Randall, all great people. We were either introduced by somebody, you know, in the field of telecommunications, or we've done business before.
That's a good question, Rob. Cal, any final question from you?
Yeah, so Mickey has said before that, you know, Minutes and World Mobile are symbiotic, and I can now clearly see it because of how much you guys have planned and how much is coming down the pipeline, and how solid the team you have built, Josh. And by the way, when you brought Jamie on board, I was like super pumped because I grew up playing Grand Theft Auto, and I'm a huge fan here of Rockstar Games. But yeah, maybe a final question here. If you and Mickey can team up on a dream project, Minutes Network and World Mobile combined, what do you think you guys would build together? And I know Unity is coming and a few other things, but what would that project be?
So to answer that very specifically, Unity is a dream project. It's a dream for the people that hope and will use it, and it's a dream for us to run, to create a crypto miner that doesn't rely upon mass use of electricity or have ridiculous price tags attached to the hardware itself. I think it's a I think it's incredible. The industry needs it. And not only that, the exchange product that will launch during Q2, that is a work of art. We're going to be onboarding hundreds or thousands eventually of carriers on the exchange. They will all have the right to trade between each other. The trading will be sort of middlemanned automatically by Minutes Network, by WM Chain. And yeah, we're going to create the future space for telecommunications enthusiasts, enterprises, call centers, calling card companies, retail outlets, wholesalers, to all combine in one place under the roof of Web3, and take sort of advantage of all of the products that we've created, not only at Minutes Network, but also at World Mobile. And that could include the likes of Unity, that could be other value-added services or the termination, that could be data, whether it's data arbitrage or pure data. It could be, you know, there are a plethora of different things that we'll be offering carriers via the exchange. And we're also looking to create a monetization exchange as well. That's not set for Q2, but that's set for the near future. And I think we currently have the dream in hand. I think this is it.
Thank you there. And I'm just going to quickly jump in there right before we get to closing and final thoughts. Hopefully you guys all have those ready. But because of the sake of time here, we cannot address every single question in the live chat. I did see a couple of really solid questions that have come in from community members here and longtime supporters of the channel. One here from Trade Runner. We've also got another one here from Javier. We've got another one here from Munga Desire. And so I just wanted to just say, for anybody who has any additional lingering questions, please make sure to go ahead and use the link that I've just left. Join the Minutes Discord, and you'll have access to people and the right resources to get all these questions answered. Again, we only have so much time here, and I've tried to do my best here to answer as many ad hoc questions. We already had some pre-planned questions, but I realize that we just will not be able to get to every single one. So please, ladies and gentlemen, use that link to the Discord, join the Minutes community, ask away, especially as we are nearing, or we're getting soon, or we should be getting soon, the TGE. All right. That said, I believe we are right at around time. We'd like to always close off the show by just giving some last thoughts here. And so maybe we start off with Gary, and then we go to Jamie, and then we'll give Josh the final and last words. And so, Gary, anything you want to send us home with?
Well, I just first of all like to thank you for the time, for your community and yourselves to hosting today's session. It's always great to be able to talk more about the project. And look, it's a very exciting. It's been a very exciting journey so far. We're at a particularly exciting moment right now, not just for ourselves, but the whole community. So hold on to your hats and enjoy the ride.
Thank you.
Indeed. Yeah, well, it's going to be a blockbuster, however you want to cut it, whichever you want to slice it. It's going to be an incredible 2025. So yeah, I think if, for anyone who isn't part of our community, do join the Discord, do join us on Telegram and X. We got a great fam that are there to educate, support, look after, terrific energy. And I think, everything's going to start accelerating. And as Josh and Gary pointed out, we have terrific products that will be rolling out. And we will soon be live to the world on exchanges. TG will be behind us, and then it's just going to be, let's go. So thank you as well for having me on the show.
It's my pleasure. And I think Rob and Cal would also say the same. Last but not least, Mr. Watkins.
Thanks, Fareed. I saw two of the questions that popped up there very briefly. In terms of unused minutes being used to generate rewards using Unity, it's a very important question. So what's happening here is with compatible carriers in compatible countries, you will be able to use your unused minutes on your cell phone plan to generate rewards. And if that doesn't make it any clearer, there will be a large amount of infographics and educative materials coming out very shortly as we prepare for the release of Unity itself. Now, and just to go back to your point, Fareed, yes, you're absolutely welcome to ask any questions in the Discord, social media, Twitter or Telegram, and we will answer those questions in the up and coming AMAs. Yes, I am a Liverpool supporter. Mickey is a Liverpool supporter, and it would only be right for me to support Liverpool as well. So I am a Liverpool supporter, although I don't watch football, okay? I must admit, I don't watch football, but if there's a big Liverpool game on, I will watch it if I have time. And these days, honestly, there's so much going on. I think I might have missed one or two recently already, but I do like Liverpool, and it's in my blood. So yes.
I don't think anyone's mad or frustrated that you don't have the time because you're building the Minutes Network. I think that's where your time should be spent there, Josh. So thank you again.
I must add that Gary is a loving Manchester United supporter. So we do have a
little bit of tension there.
Yes, but it's
and
okay.
I'm a Chelsea football supporter from life, for life. So there we have it.
Right.
When I was at ETH Denver, and I was walking around wearing a Fulham jacket, and I had several people come up to me and say, "Hey, I live in Fulham," or "That's my favorite team," and I'm like, "I like the sponsor, World Mobile."
I have no idea who you're talking about. They're doing really well. They're doing very well this year.
Now, if you ask Rob about college football, that he can ramble about. So I think we've all got our strengths and weaknesses, and as long as we recognize that, I think we'll all be okay. Ladies,
weave sports in somehow, like every closing.
Right. No, I mean, it definitely does keep the world connected. I myself, growing up, participate in a lot of sports, and I see a lot of value in that. And so, just being able to end off on a super light note there, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have enjoyed today's conversation, sort of the introduction here to the World Mobile community. For anybody who hasn't heard of Minutes Network, I've left links down below. I'll go ahead and drop some of those here after the show, but please join their Discord, check out their website, check out their Explorer. Again, a lot of these services and what they're doing with call termination are already live. You can see exactly how they're growing and exactly where they plan to expand to over the course of the next couple of months, again, with the TGE right around the corner, centralized exchange listings, and so much more coming up. So again, you'll probably see Jamie, Gary, and Josh here on the channel moving forward. But if you have any questions, again, please join that Discord. If you guys have found this to be helpful, I'd appreciate if you guys could smash that thumbs up. If you want more, consider subscribing. And again, feel free to leave some comments down below. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and drop our guests here. Again, thank you all for taking the time.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Rocky.
Chatting
Thank
about
you,
it.
everyone that watched.
Rob,
Take care.
Clover, Gary, Jamie, thank you very much for having us here. And,
Yeah,
it's a
happy
pleasure to
Saturday.
be here. Looking
Thank
forward
you
to
all
next
as well.
Yeah,
Thank
bye,
you.
everyone.
All right. Wow. So as they're sort of kicking back over there, I mean, what a show. This was a ride for me. If I'm being honest, my eyes are just opening to minutes. Now, I feel like you guys have been a little bit more clued into minutes than I have, but would love to hear your guys' biggest takeaways from today's stream. Expectations, do you guys still have any lingering questions? And then potentially thoughts about part two. And then, of course, we'll go ahead and wrap up today's stream. But either one, if you want to jump in first, go ahead.
I'm gonna jump in, and yeah, even though airplanes are passing in the background, so I apologize about that. But yeah, it's been a super exciting show. I mean, there is so much to be excited about. Minutes Network, and they're literally straight up redefining like telecom on blockchain. And we here at the Alliance are very, very excited to have them on, and we have a lot of different things planned how to involve the Minutes Network community moving forward. Obviously, World Mobile and Minutes Network it's a very symbiotic, and everyone's a big family. There's so many World Mobile token holders that moved over to Minutes Network, and they're supporting them. And there's a lot of people that came from that community. So I'm really looking forward to a lot of the different things that we talked about today. Like, for example, Unity nodes is something that I'm super looking forward to. Excuse me, this airplane is. It's bothering me. I don't know if it's bothering everyone else, but yeah, I'm literally gonna go take a flight after this. It sounds like.
It sounds like it's landing in your backyard.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I'm so used to it now with all these airplanes. But anyhow, so Unity nodes is something I'm personally super looking forward to be involved. It's going to me. It's going to be a total game changer. It's going to be a way for you to mine rewards straight from your phone, and I think there's going to be a moment that comes in time where a lot of different people from a lot of different countries are going to start onboarding Unity nodes, and I see it as something massively being adopted. So in general, I'm looking forward to having this team on again, and I'm also actually looking forward to, as an alliance, possibly covering more of Minutes Network moving forward, just because of how exciting their technology is, and how much it can change blockchain in general, as well as how much it correlates, I guess, with World Mobile and what they're doing, because they're both bringing real world value here to users, right? Which is something that you don't really see every day in our space, in our Web3 space. So very exciting moving forward, and I'm really thankful to be here today.
Thank you as well for taking the time to not miss the show. I know you're at a different location today, which is why we've got the additional background noise there. But really, really good. Thank you again for taking the time to help with the agenda, the prepping, and just even wrangling the guests into the show today here. That makes my job a lot easier, where I can focus on, pulling things up and sort of moderating the discussion. All right. Final and last words from our favorite preacher, Reverend Rob. The show's yours.
Well, I think that having the CEO and founder of the company, having the deputy CEO, having the chief marketing officer of the company all in one place and able just to go through everything from the beginning, the history, to what they do, to what they're building, what the future is going to look like. I mean, they're clearly very passionate about this, and they're extremely knowledgeable. And it's one of these things where it's not theoretical. They're not, yeah, if this works out, or if the dice rolls this way, or we think we could. No, they're making it happen. And what I love about what Minutes Network is doing is they've gone out there and they haven't made a lot of noise as far as bragging about what could be, right? They're getting their head down. They come to us and say, "Hey guys, we're building. We have the ability to put into here and to do it this way and this way." But while they're telling us that, they're actively doing it, and they're doing it. And that you didn't hear them say it, but they do things where they onboard these companies, and they have their own test net. They have their own way where they're doing the testing, making sure it works. And a lot of times we don't hear about that stuff unless something slips somewhere until they put it on to the actual monitors. We've seen, you showed the the Explorer there, and we've actually seen more activity in certain countries that they've actually dialed back because they're getting ready for the massive. They've done all the testing, they've shown the numbers, and then they're like, oh, we have a bigger opportunity to onboard even more companies and to make this country even more massive. Nigeria, for example, the Philippines, for example, the traffic that's going to come through there is going to be incredible. They've they didn't, I don't think they went into all the different countries that they're doing things with. They have some possibilities in places like Mexico right now that could be humongous. Jamaica, they don't mention companies that they're thinking about. Yeah, 3 years down the road we'll talk to telcos there. They're making this happen. And just to know that they walk before they talk about it, right? They make sure they can do it before they get us hoping. And then it's just a matter of tightening down the bolts and making sure everything's solid for when this thing takes flight, to use another airplane metaphor there. Very, very impressed. I mean, I'm excited to see these guys in person. They're going to go to Rare Evo, and we're going to be there. And we talked about how we're going to have a lot of opportunities to attend things and do things, but it's going to be with these guys. It's going to be with Mickey and the team. We love the ability to interact in person, and we also like having them on shows like this. Earlier we saw Dad's Gone Crypto here listening in and paying attention. They just had them just not too long ago, very recently. It's great when they come on shows like what we're doing here at the Alliance, what Dad's Gone Crypto is doing, and other places. Digital Asset News. It's great to see this, because then it's not their own little controlled environment. Their AMA, their release, they're saying, look, we're open about this. We want to participate with the community. We want to give as much as we can. And they come on and they participate. And so it just shows that they're not hiding things and not trying to stay in their own little place. And I think it shows a lot of integrity, and it shows that how enthusiastic they really are about it. A lot's going to happen in the very, very near future. And especially as World Mobile Chain rolls out, as we're able to see that traffic on board go through the Earth nodes. And then there's going to be a duality, the sharing economy is going to be an overdrive. And the more you add on to these companies, it's not 1 + 1, it's 5 × 5. You're going to see these force multipliers that are just going to grow and expand everything that we're doing here with the World Mobile Chain, with the World Mobile, with the Earth nodes, with Minutes Network. And then especially as they're able to integrate their software and move it out into these different apps through these different telcos, and you get things like Unity now. Now you're going to see worldwide adoption of things. And then something else for people that are maybe they want to see number go up. Here's something to think about too. And just real briefly, and I don't know if this is entirely accurate or not, but he talked about rewarding people, the users, for doing things, right? How are they going to reward them outside of Minutes Network Token, MNTX, right? I didn't hear anything about, hey, we're going to give stable coins. They might do things for the, I don't know. But what happens if, this is just what if, they're rewarding by disseminating token to those accounts, to those holders. Those people log in to the app that shares the Minutes SDK, right? And then all of a sudden there's rewards waiting for them. What happens if those are sitting there? Okay, there's only a total amount of tokens, right? And if you're distributing to millions and millions and 1.2 billion users by 2026, even fractions of a token, what happens? There's less liquidity available because it's all been disseminated to users who may or may not claim that right away, may or not spend it right away. People, just like people staking tokens, that's tokens off the market. What happens? There's a desire for buyback. There's a price surge, right? It's simple supply and demand. And so again, I don't know if what I just said was entirely accurate, but it makes sense. And so for people who like the number go up, there's some real possibility here because this isn't just, oh gosh, I hope somebody goes to the exchange and buys this stuff. It's disseminating to users, it's disseminating to stakers, it's disseminating to node operators. There's a lot more than just let's get listed on the exchange so we can hopefully convince people that this is another token they should just go buy, right? This is not a speculative thing. This is a real world asset. There's real world money going into these products, which then comes back into the sharing economy by way of buyback. We saw the amount of money that, the amount of the percentage of what goes into this, the tokens of where it goes. 10% to the node operators, 60% to the stakers, 15% to the team. You know, they had the chart. We saw that on the show. You showed it earlier, Reed. And so there's just so many amazing things happening here. There's so much to be excited about. This is a no-brainer, and the fact that it works with World Mobile, and then so people on all sides are going to benefit from it. And then on top of that, they're saying, hey, World Mobile community, we love you. Here is 2.5% of our total token allocation, 12.5 million tokens that we are going to airdrop to you for being token holders, being node holders, your Earth node holders. This stuff's happening. And, you know, we mentioned it earlier, but we're going to be doing a pre-record with them. We're going to go over all of the questions about the airdrop. What does this look like? So we can prepare our wallets. We can make sure if we move tokens from one wallet to another at some point, we're able to know, what does that mean? How does that look? What if we have Earth nodes, right? Does that mean that we're penalized because we don't have the 100,000 WMTX in our wallet anymore because we swapped it for an Earth node? All these questions, you know, hey, I have all my stuff on Cardano. How do I get an ETH wallet ready for the airdrop? How do I make sure that you know this is my Cardano wallet? All of those things are going to happen. They're going to work with us, and we're going to be able to provide exclusive content in order to get this information out there. And so, again, there's so many amazing things happening, and we are just the beginning of it. And it's so great that they spend all this time coming onto our show, coming onto the space, talking with us. They want to do more. I can't tell you. I've had so many conversations with these guys, just how eager they are, how grateful they are that we even talk about them, because they know that the community pays attention when they hear things about minutes. So the more we can do, the more we can participate, the more excited everyone's going to be in it. That's just to everybody's benefit. So I'm really looking forward to doing more with these guys. You saw right here just how great, laid back, just friendly they are. These are the kind of people that you want to just hang out with, right? But they're also changing the world, and they're going to do amazing things. They're going to benefit not just businesses, not just people who go out and buy the tokens, but every person who uses a cellular device worldwide is going to have the opportunity to dial into this because of all their hard work and all that they're doing. And so that is life changing. That is world changing. That's a paradigm shift that we're not used to seeing, right? That's like with the advent of the internet. I mean, it's maybe not at that dynamic, but those possibilities can be there because of what they're doing and how they're not keeping it for themselves. So very, very excited to see what's coming. Very, very excited to participate in it. And, you know, the best part about all of this stuff is that when we get to do this stuff together, the three of us. And so very, very thankful for you guys and the time that we have. Thankful for the people that are paying attention, that are listening into these spaces, that are actively participating. This is something that I think everyone's going to benefit from. And I'm excited to be a very small part of that.
To be a very big part of that. Kudos to you. Thank you for taking the initiative to, again, be that bridge builder, right? To get the connections rolling in, to even help to draft some of the key questions that we had today. I realized we didn't get through a third of them, you know, but if we had to sit here and do that, we'd be here for probably 3 or 4 hours. And so again, thanks for taking the time to make this a jam-packed show, but then not just valuable to people like me, but to the community. And so again, I think this is what it's all about. Huge shout out here to Luke, fellow viewer who's just tuned in here. I appreciate your support big time. But as we close out, for anybody who missed it, please rewind, jump in there, ask questions, etc. We'll still be monitoring comments. My biggest takeaway, and I'm just going to briefly share this because again, I know we've got some off-air chats that we need to jump into in just a moment. But it was understanding when Josh mentioned that they're onboarding indirectly, right? And so looking here at some of these big names, seeing World Mobile there at the bottom right-hand corner, like this was my biggest takeaway, understanding that they've got partnerships and relationships basically that span all around the globe. And so as each one of these boxes grows, that then in turn feeds right back into the Minutes network, helping them grow. And so again, I think that this is just the very tip of the iceberg. I know they mentioned Google soon, right? But that's exactly what you want to hear. So that'll do it here for today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are not already following Rob, make sure to go ahead and do so. If you have Ada to delegate with the Trek pool. If you're not already following Clover Nodes, make sure to follow him. If you have Ada to delegate that to Trek, because Cal's pool is doing too dang well, right? So Cal, I'm not plugging you in here. But no, seriously, both of these gentlemen, stake pool operators, check them out. Make sure to follow the World Mobile Alliance Twitter. That'll do it here for today's show. As always, if you guys have enjoyed it, please smash that thumbs up. If you want more, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to voice off down below. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll bring us here to the end for today's stream. Hopefully you guys have learned something. I know I definitely did. We'll see you all in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers. And until next time, bye-bye.